This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
He was a giant, and he was a cowboy. Now these two former rivals have joined forces to bring you the most insightful, perceptive, and controversial sports talk podcast in America. Former Dallas Cowboys defensive end Jim Jeffcoat locks horns with former New York Giants wide receiver Byron Williams. And now, here's Byron Williams and Jim Jeffcoat.
What's going on?
My man, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Lucius, how you been?
I've been good, man. It's good to see you after all these years.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. Thanks for jumping on with me tonight. We usually have this podcast every Wednesday night. Me and Jim Jeffcoat. It's the J&B Talking Shop. All we do is talk about locker room football. We always bring former players on and just get the insights and pick your brain on what's going on today, what you're involved with, what you're engaged with. And good thing I've been knowing you for years, so we can jump right in. But thanks and welcome to be here, Lucius Floyd.
Well, I appreciate you, my man. All those years we played together and the things you've done to help me out with my camps and things like that. I really appreciate it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so kind of tell everybody, fill everybody in. I know you grew up in California and try to share with them your path toward playing football. I know you're a great running back, outstanding running back, had all kind of exclusive moves and things like that. Just a great athlete back in the day. Still doing a lot of great things, and just share with everybody and all the people that's on the podcast what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I grew up in Inglewood, California. Had the opportunity to move to Las Vegas, play for Valley High School in Las Vegas. From there, I went to University of Nevada, got a chance to play running back there, and then was pretty successful there. Then moved on to the Seahawks, tried out 2 years with the Seahawks. Then I went over to Canada with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, played there, made Rookie of the Year, and then finished up my career with Edmonton. Went in the Grey Cup and then retired after like 9 years of playing running back. So that was good. And then just after that, I started working with kids, thought that I can give back and teach some of the lessons that I learned while I was playing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome and amazing. I'm so happy you can able to share that real quick history of yourself. And one of the things that I know is your heart for kids and the things that you've been doing the last 10, 12 years, I know been very impactful with the youth, with the camps, with the technologies that, you're always looking for to expand the game, the safety of the game and technology of the game. So I would like for you to kind of just share a little bit of that. I know you travel the world doing what you do, giving back to the kids. And I know you've been in Hawaii and Australia and all those different places like that. So kind of share a little bit of that with us.
Yeah. Just like after retirement, you remember Adam Rita. Mm-hmm. I did a little scouting with the BC Lions and thought that probably would be my pathway to do a little coaching in the professional league or maybe college. But then I started working with kids over in Port Macquarie, and I really enjoyed working in the youth sector, kind of helping kids out. Like even right now, one of the kids, Dr. Steve Carter out there in Port Moody with 365 Fitness, I trained him and now he's a trainer. So I just saw more of an impact of being in the youth sector, like actually being able to give some of the kids some insight that I didn't get growing up. The game was changing fast and being able to go out there and show them drills and things that kind of bring them up to speed was important. So I started with that, had opportunity to do that in Canada for over 15 years, worked with several guys that actually I played with that retired, Orville Lee, Robert Holland. We all worked together. Their son's actually, Robert's son is actually with the Dolphins, Holland, the free safety, and Orville's son, Malcolm, had a chance to play a little bit of professional ball as well, you know. So I just saw the impact that it can make. And I mean, it's pretty much the same youth development, whether it's in Canada. When I went to Australia, it impacted a lot of young players, just, you know, teaching them some core values and what to expect and just, you know, how to go through the system as far as with coaches and training.
Right. Yeah. And the good thing about what you've been doing is you've been able to just go and travel. I know that you said that, you know, today you said that some of the things that you are trying to implement for youth football, youth flag leagues, different camps, and the exposure that you're getting ready to do. You're getting ready to launch some new programs and things like that, which is exciting because that's what I've been a part of, you know, my life after playing football and so forth. But just the idea of going to Australia and places like that, how have that been so effective for you to have that kind of exposure and go across into other countries like that?
Oh, well, you just learn so much about just the dynamics of the way that they approach sports, their training, different equipment, just the things that you can learn from other coaches who teach other sports, huh? So, I mean, I was at universities, Bonds University with Sean Hedger, also out at the Track Tars and War Tars, the professional rugby team practices and facilities. So I learned so much, like how it can make me better and I can actually make other kids better. I think that experience is what propelled me to study more and just every day be on top of it, trying to make sure I know what's going on in the world of sports, in the business of sports, huh? So, yeah. I mean, I was able to see a lot of different sports, field hockey, rugby league, AFL, netball, things that a lot of the sports that we don't particularly see as sports in our high school, but that was what they were doing in their country, huh?
Right. And so that's what I want to ask you, you know, to carry over from like soccer to you know, the game of football and teaching them the techniques of, you know, changing directions and running and cone drills and things like that. What experience of what have you heard from the competitors, the campers and the coaches of how you have came over and started teaching football techniques compared to their soccer techniques? What have you experienced like in those types of when you go over there to other countries like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, they're very experienced. I mean, they're just in a different country, huh? But most of the key elements for most of the sports, whether it's tennis, netball, soccer, hockey, is speed, agility, and strength, huh? Mm-hmm. So if you understand those dynamics and you can work with people and learn different techniques from them, and then just be able to apply, you know, a little bit of your knowledge with their knowledge. And, you know, because football for us, I mean, it's probably one of the hardest sports, huh? So you got to have speed, agility, and strength. And I just think that if you can put good programs together, what I did learn from over there is like how to actually program to make those kids, you know, reach those levels, you know, by being able to have the proper workout plans, to be able to monitor them and know within that training and that program, how do you develop them? You know, that like, say, for instance, USA Football has what they call FDM, football development model.
Right.
So we'll break down exactly what a kid should have before he leaves 9U to be able to compete in 10U.
Right.
So just being able to structure and be able to work with people and have don't have a stubborn ego. A lot of people have an ego, but don't have a stubborn ego where you go, yeah, I kind of know it. I know it all. So willing to learn and being open and sitting down with guys, just like how you and I are sitting down and chatting and being able to say, hey, I never even thought of that, but see if I can put that into my program and how I can apply that to make this kid better.
Yeah, and that's good. And I know one of the things that you bring is the excitement, how you really can motivate the athletes and teach them new stuff, new drills. I know a couple of years ago, you and I was talking while you was in Hawaii, and you was teaching them some, the new training and new drills and things like that. So share with some of our viewers about some of the things that you have been able to do for us, learning these different products and equipments to use to improve your speed, improve your agilities, and things like that.
Yeah, like I'm constantly searching for new ways or seeing videos and then screenshotting equipment when it's moving in the thing, and then like actually pulling up the logo and the name and researching it and things like that. Like I've been able to work with guys like Jakku, Blaze Pods, the Webby, 360, a quick 360 fit. I mean, you name it. I've been working with guys and finding new things to be able to implement into my training.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's just a lot of resources out there, like Strength and Conditioning, the magazine that comes out every 2 months for high school and college. They show you all the new equipment that's out there. But the thing is, it's just not the equipment. It's being able to take that equipment and say, okay, this is what this kid needs, or this is what this team needs, maybe from figure eights to like lateral drills to linear drills. And like I said, being able to make that program and implement it and see the results and actually make the kid better, huh?
Yeah.
I got a call the other day from one of my clients. And I gave his little boy, who's a soccer player, he's probably about 10,
Mm-hmm.
Mason Webby, and his dad already in 2 weeks says, I can already see the difference in him, huh?
Yeah.
Just guided them to a YouTube video so he can work on his footwork. So I think if you can see what's out there and do your research and see if it can apply to your type of program or your structure of how you design the speed and agility or strength program, then it's just going to be helpful.
Yeah, you mentioned the word Webby. I know you're the one who introduced me to the Webby 3 or 4 years ago, and maybe you can describe what the Webby is all about.
Yeah, the Webby is the actual circular ladder, huh? Instead of having the actual linear ladders, these are the circular ladders. So what I use those for is a lot of figure eights work, side shuffle work, coming around the edge, so you can use it for like defensive tackles and things like that. I had an opportunity 4 years ago where we sold some of those to the Rams. And they used them right before their big Super Bowl run. Not to say that's the reason why they went to the Super Bowl, but we did get them out there to them just to see what they thought about it, huh? And so it can change direction. So it's a little bit different than just going linear, huh? So with that being said, there's a quick 360 that actually folds, and we can get different type of work from that as well. So it's just actually knowing, like from you and I as a running back, how we would come. I mean, for me as a running back and you a receiver in the Canadian Football League, how we used to do that waggle, understanding how to come around like a corner and being able to straighten up. That's one thing that the Webby can help. So yeah, they actually Marcus Dixon was a defensive line coach over at the Rams that I sent that out to, and he loved it. So it's just a lot of research. You know, in this game, everyone's trying to get the upper hand on you with their athletes. So you just gotta be on top of it and just know when you see products, how do you use those products? Huh?
Yeah. So you know it's a small world. You mentioned the name Marcus Dixon. I've been knowing Marcus for like 10, 12 years. He came and started, he moved here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and he started going to my church. And Marcus, you know, he was one of the top athletes, I think, in Virginia, where he grew up, and he got arrested for he had a rape charge. And then he ended up going to college and ended up going to the NFL, played for the Dallas Cowboys. And then he started coaching. He's definitely coaching for the Rams. I think now he might be coaching with the Broncos. But Marcus and I, we communicate all the time. So, yeah, it's a small world that, you know, in our circle, especially athlete circles, you know, people like Marcus, they can see the value of what you just described. And so that's what we always about. We're always trying to help the young kids, especially coach them and giving them an opportunity to learn. If you can cut a second off your time or a millimeter off your time, you know, you're that much closer to your goals. And, you know, that really matters in athletics.
Yeah. Like our saying here is we work together to make it better. Huh? So we work together to make it better. We've sold it to, I mean, I've always, like you and I, we network, we connect, and we think that if there's something good out there that can help athletes, then we promote it to other guys who are doing the training and working with athletes. I think that's important.
Yeah, exactly. And what I love about us being former athletes, and you know, we 1 degree separated from connecting the dots. You know, today you and I, you know, you done moved to Northern California, with where your daughter live over there by Sacramento and so forth. And you know, I connected you with a guy that lived up there, Arnold Jackson, who was drafted by the Cowboys in the 70s in the 9th round. You know, we get to talk about stuff like that, but yet, you know, we still in the game, so to speak. We in these communities giving back. We in this community talking to kids, like, and so, you know, that's what's really exciting, because we can still connect the dots, as well as come up with a plan of action to where we support each other. I know you guys were talking about starting a youth flag football program over there in California. And, you know, it just brings excitement to hear some of the opportunities that are still out there for former players.
Yeah, I mean, I happened to connect with a guy by the name of Ali, and he runs Superior Sports out here, and they're just doing good work, you know, like within the school district. I mean, we just finished up a 5-week program over at Greer Middle School, which was really nice. We took those kids from playing backyard football to actually 5 games of true flag football with the line fields and the flags. I mean, we had 15 girls and, you know, probably about 35 to 40 boys. And just to see them from day one, you know, from like actually practice to playing in those championship games, you can just see the excitement and how much they learn to actually play football. So, yeah. So, I mean, we're always out looking to kind of, you know, give back to the community, give back to the youth. And I've just seen it. I've seen kids that I've worked with go all the way from 12-year-olds to the Olympics to college, and then what they've done after that. You know, some of them are married now with kids and great jobs. So you can see the success of those student athletes when they put in the work, huh? So we're trying at Superior Sports to get some free camps going, get kids out there, get them excited, and just give back. You know, it's nothing to go out there and set up some drills and, you know, some fundamentals for these kids to get them excited. And, you know, just like you and I, when we're little kids, we just love football. That's what we wanted to do. Just like a kid wants to be a fireman or a policeman or a doctor, we want to be pro football players, and we just put the work in to get there, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one of the things I'm studying on top of is just continue to. I'm glad we're still in the football arena for us giving these camps, pointing to these kids because every kid have those dreams of playing on the next level, whether it's going from elementary to junior high to high school to college, and then from college, if you that 1%er, you get the next opportunity. So that's what it's all about. We try to tell kids dreams do come true, but still the most important thing is the education and what you're learning on your way up, So those are some of the things that we always share with them as well. I was at a school this morning and we were talking about mental health to juniors and seniors at the high school here in Arlington. And years ago, we didn't talk about the mental health part of it. 'Cause we didn't. That wasn't even a topic. You're supposed to act right and try to control yourself at times and respect the teachers. But we was in this auditorium today, and everybody was looking down on their iPhones and things like that. So, we live in a different society. So those are some of the things, because that right now they can get stuff instant by the touch of their fingertip. They can learn how to do this. They can Google how to do that, and it's just one of the things that we talked about today, and it's real good to still be in the game, so to speak, the way you can share your story, share your experience with these students.
Yeah, exactly. And look, and that just goes to show how we need to adapt, like through education, like National Federation of High School Sports, like working within their certifications for mental health and things like that. The parent seat, just educating yourself. We're old school, but we need to learn new school ways, huh?
Exactly.
That's what's important. I mean, and that's what I love about the youth sector is being able to see that change, and mentoring and nurturing these young athletes through relentless positivity. Because when we were growing up, we went through things, but probably not as much as they're going through right now because it's all highlighted, huh?
Yeah, it's all
Everything's
highlighted. Yeah.
and it's very highlighted. Even when you get on, probably if you use social media, sometimes you got to decompress from it because you're like, oh, that was just too much. So you take a couple days off, and we've trained ourselves to be able to do that. But just imagine a young 11, 12 up to 17-year-old. That's their life, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And we talked about another thing too, with the increase in the interest of youth girls football and girls football period. They're gonna probably have the Olympics flag football for girls in 2028 in the Olympics as a competition sport. What do you think about that portion of the football? With the girls getting involved and engaged with football.
I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, like when I ran the league out in Hawaii, I-9, working with them with football, man, some of our best players were females. Girl by the name of Emily. Granted, it was 14U, but she was probably the best 14U girl out there on the field as far as and player. And then another girl by the name of Penelope that's got these, just incredible skills for a football player. I mean, and I've heard Penelope tell me she wants to be in the Olympics, and it's phenomenal. So I just think that as long as they can get the proper training and they take care of themselves, then that's great. That's just that's just where we're moving to. You can watch a women's NCAA. I mean, the viewership on that. There's some phenomenal athletes out there, so I'm all for it for the the girls playing flag football. I mean, you got sevens rugby girls playing, you got regular rugby girls are playing. I mean, it's just another platform for them to showcase their skills and their abilities. But it's very important to know and be with the proper people so you can prevent those injuries, huh?
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to say, just the NCAA basketball tournament just this year with Caitlin Clark, I saw where the Houston Rockets or somebody, the NBA was thinking about maybe drafting her as the first woman to draft a college player, so college woman player. So, and then their ratings were very, very high, higher than the boys this year. So that's some exciting stuff. I'm happy that that we see sports as a level playing field for everybody who loves sports, and so it's just exciting to see that happens.
Just to talk about it just shows how far we've come with accepting women's sports, huh? So
yeah.
That's exciting in itself. And I mean, that's the business of sports. I mean, more power to an athlete that can move forward and change games and things like that, huh?
Yeah,
so,
exactly. And what I love about it, there's no prejudice in it, because now the best athlete is the one who get the glory, get to showcase their talent, and people just can admire the skill set that they possess and that they have. And I think that's a wonderful thing to love about. That's why I love the game of sports, because it will feature you as who you are, and there's no compromise. You can't cheat yourself, and you can accomplish quite a bit if you stay focused on your dreams and your skill sets, and definitely you can make tons of money.
Yeah, and like guys like you and I and other guys who retired that got their hat in the arena as far as helping. I mean, I just believe after I got done, my whole soul and purpose was to serve and not about self, huh?
Yeah.
So I feel good that I'm able to serve and be out there with the kids, having fun, showing skills, playing with them, and things like that. So, I mean, like you said, I think that's important. And the game is going to be forever changing. I can only imagine 30 years from now, all the stuff they're going to have out there and they're going to be doing. And I mean, but still respecting the games. That's the most important stuff, is making sure we keep that respect for the guys who paved that way for us, huh?
Yeah.
Like a saying goes, I don't know if you remember this old wide receiver from Denver Broncos, but his name was Haven Moses.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember his mom's son, Haven Moses Jr., she named him after him. And he stopped me one day when I was real upset about something and told me, you love my uncle? I was like, yeah, I love him. I watch him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm going to tell you one thing that my uncle told me. No one man's bigger than the game. And he told me that at 11. And that stuck with me to my whole time plan. So, so if we can keep that mentality and realize those guys who paved the way for us and have that respect for the game, I think it's always going to have that purity in itself, huh?
Exactly. And the good thing about the game is it is evolving, and we know it's going to be changes. But what we love about playing and participating is the character. It's the coaches that you had, and it's the stories. It's the locker room talk. Those are the things that really, glorify you forever. Nothing can replace that. You can write a book about it. You can read about it. You can have your notes about it, and it's part of who you are now. So that's the good thing about it. When you meet certain guys and you have that small talk or that small conversation with that guy, that's really valuable stuff there.
I see someone wants a story about you. I do have one story about you. I remember when you came in, Don Matthews brought you into Saskatchewan. I was like, who's this tall, long dude? They're like, he's from the NFL. Then they call you. Start calling you BK. Yeah. You remember the old British Knights? I was like, that's my boy BK. So I always call you BK. It's probably funny when guys are on the phone. I'm like, all right, BK.
I know some people ain't never heard me. People call me BK, but Don Matthews, he started calling me BK. He said, I don't like Byron. I'm just gonna start calling you BK. That sounds more catchy. So I became BK in Canada. So
yeah, and then
Huh? I was talking
And
to Damon Allen last week, and he talked to this lady called me Byron. He didn't know who she was talking about. Then he said, "Oh, you talking about BK?" And it was so funny. And she couldn't do nothing but laugh.
yeah, I call Damon Allen I call it DA.
Yeah.
I'll be like, yeah. And another good funny story is like we befriended Miss Matthews that was over in Saskatchewan, kind of our dean mom that took care of us.
Yeah.
And she always talks about you when I talk to her, and she asked me if I've spoken to you and stuff. So this will be a good little thing to talk to her about when I talk to her in the next couple of days. Huh?
Yeah, she's on FaceTime, and she's on FaceTime, and she always texted me, want to know how Beverly's doing and all that type of stuff. But she said she wanted to come to Texas. I told her, come on, we definitely want to invite her down and have a good time. She was like our mom. She was like she was so nice, man. People don't realize how nice the people are in Canada, man. It made you feel at home, away from home, but yeah, they life friends forever.
Oh yeah, her and Mia and Mr. Danakis. I don't know if you got a chance to meet Mia, but yeah, Mia.
Mm-hmm.
Still Miss Matthews came and visited in Las Vegas and Hawaii. Yeah, they're great people.
Yeah.
Who's still out in Hawaii? I mean, who's still out in Saskatchewan is Vincent Donalds. Vincent Donalds.
Yeah, I saw him working out, training kids and coaching, right? So yeah. I see him on my Facebook.
You got to get him on the show. That guy's doing a DB academies, huh?
Yeah. He went to Michigan State and was a great defensive back. Just man, you meet so many great people, man, and when VD Benson he's a super guy. He's a super guy. So yeah.
Yeah, he's doing lots of good work out there in Saskatchewan. So yeah, with his academy and stuff. So I just know that you guys have a good conversation. He's been in this high school sector, the college sector, and the pro. So I mean, that guy's putting out DBs out there in Canada, huh? So
but that's what it's all about. You're learning from the best. He like I say, he was at Michigan State. And he was a cover guy, he talked noise to you, and that's a good thing about the conversation that you have out there on that football field while you're competing. You never forget those, and you know who can play. When they bring it, they bring it. So yeah.
Oh yeah, he would bring it. Yeah, I mean, soon as we had a good connections, and as soon as he got to Saskatchewan, and I learned a lot from that from Vincent. And I just know he's a good guy, just like you. So, I mean, just the connections that you make in sports, longtime friends. I mean, that's so valuable, and kids need to learn that. I mean, I'm still talking to guys like when I was in probably the 9th grade, 40 years of friendship from guys I played with and stuff. So that's one of the great things about sports is, I mean, most guys can tell you they probably got friends they played Pop Warner with, and they're still talking to them, and not every day, but at least reaching out to them a couple times a year and things like that. Huh?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I'm finally got my little pit. I couldn't see you while we was talking. Now I probably popped back up. So sometimes my computer act up over here.
Oh yeah. So I'm getting a call in. I was trying to use my other phone, so I wouldn't get a call on my side. But am I still there?
Yeah, I see you. So one of the things I wanted to share with you, it's 15 days before the draft. So I want you to think back when you was a senior in college and that you had a chance to go to the Seahawks. You was telling us early on, and looking forward to the next chapter, from college. What's that feel like, when you put all this time in, 4 years of college, and then you're on this radar list to be a professional football player?
Oh, I mean, just your nerves. You're a good college football player, but can you be able to train to play with the big boys, the pros, the guys that's been there, and you've watched them on TV, and it's you're just nervous. I mean, you probably think you're prepared until you get there and you actually see those guys playing and the speed of the game. It's just a lot of nerves. It's something that you've been dreaming about and training for your whole life.
Yeah.
And there's excitement there. There's nervousness there. So, just to get that opportunity where most don't get it,
Yeah.
I just felt that I needed to be prepared, prepared and train myself to make sure when I was out there, I can show them everything that I have.
Yeah. And, one of the things is, you see these guys that you've been watching on the pro level, and then, you get your name or you sign a contract and you get the chance to go to training camp, and training camp is completely different than college training camp or 2 days or whatever. And, the one thing I always try to tell young people that's going to the next level, don't lose yourself in all the excitement. Just stay content of what you can bring to the table, but still have your confidence and have your mindset to where you competing with them just like they competing with you. So just stay proud and be about working hard. And that should be your mindset, because one of the things about this draft coming up, the draft is in 15 days, 2 weeks from tomorrow. It's supposed to be a good class of football players going in on the next level. So it's exciting to see so often you see a lot of good football players. You got 6 or 7 good quarterbacks, tons of receivers, and then, just what you think about this draft coming up?
Oh, I think it's going to be a good draft. I mean, you got good wide receivers, you got good quarterbacks, running backs. I just think that there's some needs for some teams, and if they can position themselves and properly get what they need, it's even going to make the league more competitive and
Yeah, good. Now, one of the things I was going to ask you was, this guy, he wanted to jump on. Yeah, he can jump on. Matt Dorsett, he played for the Green Bay Packers.
oh no.
Yeah, he I said, yeah, get on. Yeah, yes, jump on. One of the things I was going to ask you about, the position running backs, the running back position. I know they talked about it might not be a first rounder. Maybe a couple of guys one or two might barely make it to the first round. But what do you think about the running back position and how it's been in the last couple of years in the National Football League?
I mean, there's been a lot of controversy on, as far as guys being paid and things like that.
Mhm.
I think it's one of the most important positions on the offense. I mean, if you can get a good running back and he can, take a little pressure off of those quarterbacks running or helping them run. I mean, I was fortunate enough to have Damon and myself in the backfield, running quarterback and a good fullback and a running back. So I just felt that, that's the type of football I'm used to growing up. The Bill Walsh type of offense, fullback, running back. And I being a running back, I like to pound the ball. When we're ahead, we need to get first downs. That was my thought. We need first downs. I'm trying to get 5, 10. I just thought that was important. So I think probably in the next year or two with like McCaffrey doing what he did, being multi-purpose. That's just how we used to use running backs, that you're going to see more guys going to that, huh?
Yeah.
But it's kind of had a decline because of a lot of injuries. A lot of guys, the better running backs, have been hurt and things like that. So I see it in the next couple of years of actually moving up, you know what I mean, as far as salaries and things like that. You see a lot of guys that during, free agency trying to get running backs because they're trying to take a little bit of pressure off those quarterbacks, huh?
Yeah. So, I think, too, that you still got to have an excellent running back, one that can block, one that can catch, one that, fast, as a fast thinker like you were, and can block and catch. One of the things that you could do, you can catch out the backfield. You had great hands, and then you got that motor skill. You can run down the seam. So, you make the highlights and stuff like that. So, and those are the types of, I think, athletes that they're probably geared to versus the big bulky guys back in the day where they had a true fullback back there. Because now these offenses are so based around getting the ball out, trying to have 4 or 5 receivers in there, wide receivers, and now the tight ends are playing a whole big different role in the offensive strategies and stuff.
Yeah, you're not beating me with a tight end. That's not even in Madden. Tecmo Bowl, you wouldn't even beat me. I'm not gonna let you beat me with a tight end, but that's how the games change, huh? Yeah. It was usually the running backs that carried the load, and I mean, it just depends on I would say how you game planning in your scheme, and you've seen in the last couple of years a lot of those schemes have changed to throwing the ball, 5 receiver, empty backfield, guys who can catch out of the backfield. But it evolves. So then it comes back around, and a lot of people, get upset about it. But it's just, I just believe it's just a business of sport. But I do believe it's an important role is running back, like you said, blocking, catching, running the ball, and making those plays, making guys miss. And it's the excitement of the running back that a lot of people like, huh?
Right, exactly. Hey, welcome, Matt Dorsett, defensive back. He's from New Orleans, from Southern University, down in Baton Rouge. World-renowned leaders in the NFLPA, as well as on the executive board. Hey, welcome, Matt. I appreciate you coming on.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is Lucius Floyd. Lucius Floyd was a running back. He and I was teammates and up in Canada, as well as he grew up in California, went to play for the Seahawks, and just been doing some things in the community with youth football and so forth. So I wanted to welcome and want you to meet Lucius as well, Matt. And then, Matt, I want you to kind of start off and tell us a little bit about yourself with your little Super Bowl ring, your Green Bay Packers, and all that good stuff.
Well, of course, I'm Matt Dorsett. Grew up right here in New Orleans, a native New Orleans. Of course, I guess not a known fact, but only played 2 years of high school football. My high school actually didn't have a team until my junior year. Went on to Southern as a walk-on, became a starter as a true freshman. Played against guys like Steve McNair all 4 years. Some of the receivers that came out of there with J.J. Smith, got to cover him, Torrance Small, guys like that. Left Southern, went on to Green Bay as a free agent, made the 53-man roster as a free agent. I mean, it's kind of my story, Yeah. I put in the work and it paid off. So after football, wanted to be a part of the NFLPA and help my brothers learn about benefits, start utilizing benefits, and just being a part of the NFLPA, the union, and getting that feeling of the locker room back. So it was just one of the things that I wanted to do. It was like a personal goal for myself. Saw a lot of guys with issues, a lot of guys that needed help, and of course, we can't take on that financial burden on our own. But the NFLPA definitely has the funds and resources to make sure we take care of our guys, and of course, our guys are the reason there is an NFLPA union and an NFL. So we want to make sure that those guys are taken care of. So that became sort of my plight in life. And so far, and I got to meet people like Byron, great guy. Every time I come to Dallas, we hang out. Looking forward to seeing him in a couple weeks for his NFLPA meeting. So that's kind of who I am in a nutshell.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Yeah, we having our NFLPA meeting in Dallas, April the 25th, draft night. We're gonna be downtown Dallas, and Matt loved to come to Dallas. He got family here as well, and we like you said, we like brothers, and it's always good to have former players to where we brainstorm on how we can help each other out. And Matt been doing a tremendous job leading the charge down in New Orleans. He's been involved with them for years. And, we just love everything he's doing. He's been on the executive board, making sure that our former players as well as our current players, we're all on the same page. So it's thank you for all your service, Matt. And thank you for jumping on tonight, man. You always enjoy it, man. He's a special guy, man. We already talking about doing an event, Lucius. We talking about doing an event at the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir.
And we talking about maybe doing something with the kids. Matt is well known down in New Orleans, man. He's a super leader, super person. So we just decided about maybe having a preparation on down later in the year. So
what are you guys talking about?
We were talking about youth football. We were talking about things that Lucius is doing. Lucius called me today, and the reason why I just had him to get back on with me because he just moved back to California. He was over in Hawaii. He's been over in Australia, and he does a lot of youth football stuff. So he was, that's what we was talking about. He was on board with me to come in and talk about what he's doing now, and how he's affecting the game with youth and flag football and stuff like that.
That's awesome. Yeah. They need the help. They need the guidance and the tutelage at a very young age. So it's definitely we need guys like him in order to ensure that these young kids get those experiences. I think those experiences are very important in helping guide them, and also helping them to make the decisions that'll make them productive citizens later on in life.
Absolutely. So Matt, share with everybody how you went to Southern University, and you're in the Hall of Fame at the university. So share a little bit about that as well.
Well, like I said, I left high school as a walk-on. Went to Southern as a walk-on, became a starter as a true freshman. And, I just kind of found my way. I had some guys there, Robert Harris, a lot of guys around me, Ashley Ambrose, that mentored me and, stayed in contact with me the entire time I was in college. So I started working out with guys that were in the pros or going to the pros when I was in high school. And like I said, I only had 2 years of high school, so I had to catch up.
Yeah.
But they tell me all the time that they're amazed at my story.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm literally the first person from my high school to go to college and play football.
Wow.
The only person from my high school to ever play in the NFL and win a championship.
That's
so
awesome.
A lot of people tell me, a lot of the guys, they just amazed by my story. And I tell them, I said, if you work hard and you work with the right people,
yeah,
that's important. Getting with the right people that can help you obtain your goal.
Exactly. So I want to connect the dots here. So one of my most impressive guys to ever be in my life, and he was the president before I became president of the Dallas chapter. We call him Butch, but his name is Isaiah Robinson. Played for the Rams. He's 8-time Pro Bowler. Share a little bit of everybody about Isaiah Robinson and what he meant to you coming from Southern University.
So you got to realize I got to meet a lot of these guys as they would come back and talk to the team.
Yeah.
And Isaiah was man, he had the biggest personality in the world. Right. And he drove around in a limousine. And so he used to come back, and he would, he had that real raspy voice.
Yeah.
He would tell stories about Eddie Robinson, and he was like, man, if there's any school in the world, he hated grammar. He hated grammar. But I never met a guy with so much passion for seeing his university grow and become better, and also reaching back to help and pull people along the way.
Right.
And he would tell you, man, if you got the talent, stay the course, and you can go play in the league. And like I think he was our first rounder.
Yeah.
I think he was our first and only first rounder, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate, his untimely death, but he had a huge legacy. He always told his story about the obstacles that he encountered, but he never looked for sympathy. He always was like, hey, this is what I went through, and this is where I am now. And so, he actually had the ranch out there where he was helping young guys.
Yeah, he had a ranch here in Dallas area, outside of Dallas, and I would go down and speak for him, and I worked out some of his kids, some of his patient kids and stuff. But one thing, Isaiah used to always tell me, "Hey, Byron," I said, "What's Isaiah?" "Hey, Byron," I said, "What's going on? You know how you shut up a bully?" I said, "No, how you shut him up? You hit him right dead in the mouth."
He had a funny story. He said he showed up on the field. He was in a full suit with a briefcase.
Yeah.
And he told us a story. We were going to play the Bayou Classic. And I want to say this was like my junior year. We had the #1 defense in the country that year. We actually won the Black National Championship.
Y'all playing Grambling in that Bayou Classic?
We played Grambling in every Bayou Classic.
Okay.
So he came and he was saying, he said, if I had the opportunity, he said, I'd line Eddie Robinson up on the 50-yard line and I'd knock them false teeth out his mouth. I said, this man is crazy.
Yeah. And he spoke his mind.
Yeah.
He was a great guy. He came to Dallas, and man, he just everybody loved him. Didn't nobody hate Isaiah. He was a Ram, and he would come here and he'll tell them Cowboys off. He didn't care. He speak his mind, and he was my mentor, and that's what led me to the NFLPA, because he would always say, dang, Byron, you doing all them camps. We're gonna talk about these camps. So he started putting the word out on what I was doing in the community, and man, he loved his brotherhood. He loved the fellas, man. I tell you, he did a lot for him.
He supported me a lot. Well, the person that got me involved with the NFLPA was Bernard Robinson, and Bernard. And Bernard actually got the chapter started back up after Katrina.
Right.
And he worked tirelessly, man, to restore it and bring it back. And he took me under his wing, and he was like, look, you can do this. And I was like, I don't know. At first I was real hesitant because, guys, when I played with my guys at Green Bay, we liked each other. And I tell anybody when I talk to them, part of the reason that we won so much and it's because of our camaraderie.
Right.
I played with guys like Reggie White and Sean Jones, Santana Dotson, Gilbert Brown, and I had Leroy Butler in my secondary, Eugene Robinson, George Teague. I played with Doug Evans. And so, I had guys on my team, Wayne Simmons and George Kuntz. And actually my cousin that lives in Dallas, Byron Williams.
Right.
Yeah, he was my teammate. So we all got along really well. And, it just goes back to that camaraderie. We brought that on the field, and we looked out for each other. We were real family. We were more family, because you got to realize Green Bay doesn't have a lot.
Yeah.
So you basically have each other to depend on and lean on. So,
well, I was drafted by Green Bay, so I got a chance to go up there and do those ups and downs, grass drills, and Bart Starr was the head coach. But
oh wow.
Yeah, you didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't know you.
I got my NFL jersey over there on the other side hanging up. No, 89. So I'm gonna ask you, a couple of years ago, I went to the airport and picked up Brett Favre.
Okay.
And when Green Bay played the Cowboys, and I was going to ask you to share a little bit about Brett. So
Brett was super cool, man. I always tell people that Brett was a soul brother in white skin. And a funny story about Brett. So when all the rookies come in, and so in the secondary is Leroy and it was George Teague. So initially George Teague took Craig Newsom, who was our first round draft pick and also a rookie as well.
Yeah.
And Leroy took me. Well, George T was like, nah, I want Dorsett. And so they wound up switching.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a guy on the team named Mark Ingram, played wide receiver.
Yeah.
And so Mark Ingram, they had this thing called Not Man. You remember Not Man? Not Man strikes. And so what happened, they used to tie my clothes up, cross the locker room. And so one time, well, I'll put it to you like this. It had gotten so accustomed to me getting my clothes tied up, clothes missing, that our trainer, Red, at the time, I would just walk around and he would already have a set of clothes ready for me. But one time Brett got me good, man.
He did.
Brett took some Flexall 454 and put it in my underwear. And I was like, so, and we had this thing where the rookies gotta be at the meeting first.
Right.
So I'm coming off of special teams, because they already in the locker room, right?
Yeah.
Special teams, you're always off the field last. So I get to the locker room, I hurry up and take a shower so I can get upstairs to the meeting, right? I put my clothes on, and Brett is talking to me, right? He wouldn't let me get up and leave.
Mm-hmm.
So I got my clothes on. So he just talking to me, and they sitting there, everybody just laughing. I'm like, what's going on? So I said, Brett, I gotta go, man. I said, I gotta get to the meeting. Like, all right. So by the time I get to the meeting, boy, things had got hot down there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in the meeting, and I'm like, man, I said, something ain't right. So everybody looking, my defensive back coach, my defense coordinator, he's sitting there looking at me. He's like, I said, I got to get out of here, man. So I jump up and I hit the door. I'm gone. I done took off all my clothes in the hallway. So Mike Holmgren coming down the hallway, he said, what the hell is going on? I said, it's hot. It's hot.
That's a good one there. That's a good one.
So I get downstairs, man, and I realized he had to put Flexall 454 in my underwear. I say, oh, man. I said, man, come on, man. Y'all got to give me a break, man. But I tell you this here. They were such good sports with me because, as a rookie, and I was a free agent, but I made the 53-man roster, and I was one of only 2 people in Green Bay history to ever do that.
Right.
And, man, when I tell you, because I didn't have all of the contracts and all of that stuff, when I tell you that Brett, George T, the whole offensive line, when I tell you them guys gave me everything off of their contracts, man, I never wanted for anything.
That's good.
And I tell anybody, if you go in with the right mindset, people will see it. You work hard, and I came in there, I tell you a story. When I got to the first rookie camp, they bring you in. Yeah. So they called me. I was at school, and I forgot the guy's name. John Snyder.
Okay, yeah.
He's the VP up in Seattle.
Okay.
He called me. He said, "Hey, man, we want to bring you in for the rookie camp. You got class?" I said, "No, I ain't got no class." Listen. My mind was, I'm going to get this money. I'm going to get this bag. And so got to the camp, and, them guys had never seen bump and run like we played it in the SWAC.
Yeah. That's all y'all played.
Yeah, they played that off coverage stuff. Right. Man, I was in there bump and running everybody, right? Mm-hmm. So Robert Brooks, who was our wide receiver.
I remember Robert.
He go tell Leroy, he said, "Hey, man, y'all better tell that rookie to cool it down." So he happened to tell him that while George T standing there, right?
Yeah. So
they say, "Hey, Brooke, come here. I said, "Yeah, what's up, man?" Because they call you over. It's always you in trouble or you done something, right?
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, man." He said, "Man," he said, "them boys over there want you to tone it down."
Uh-huh.
I said, "Yeah." So I look at Leroy, I look at George T, right? I said, "Man, how much Robert Brooks make?" He said, "Oh, he make probably about $2 million." I said, "I don't make nothing." I said, "I want his contract." You understand? I said, "So I'm gonna turn it up."
Yeah, you got to play hard. Hey, we only got 30 seconds left, but you'd love to have you back as soon as possible. But
Just let me know.
Anything that you want to say real quickly before we leave?
Look, I just want to give you your flowers, man, because you do so much and you help everybody. I mean, I don't think there's a person that you don't help or try to reach out to or extend yourself to. So I want to make sure that you get your flowers and let everybody know the great job and the great person that you are. And
Thank you, man.
I want to make sure that they do that. And like I said, whenever something going on and you need me, I'm there for you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Hey, thank you guys for coming out tonight and being part of the show. Hey, Matt, you're welcome back anytime you want to, man. We'll get together. Thank you for showing up. Have a good night. Thanks, everybody, for showing. See you.